to look at my fifth period. Showing up. All right, good. So, Hank, I know you were absent, and you do have extra time to do that, but I want you to pay really close attention to the conversation that goes on at your table, because that's how you're going to come through on this, okay? So, if you have your notes, take those out. I'd like to put my eyes on them, since everybody said they had them, and now I want to see them, okay? So, quickly, without discussion, please.
Whoops. Wait, how many notes did you guys say? I just took half of it. Okay.
Yeah, see, this is my cue right here. These notes with the diagrams. That tells you what they actually are. Nice job. What's your name? Well, you didn't take notes? Okay, well, you're going to have to rely on everybody else at your table today, but you'll be good with that, right? Okay, notes. Nice. I just need to lay eyes on them. And here's why. You're going to be needing these in a moment. Okay, next step. Thank you, my fifth period just keeps impressing me. Next step, find your copy of the George W. Bush 9/11 Address to the Nation speech, please. Okay, once you find that speech, I want you to do some skimming of what we highlighted. And let's talk very quickly just to bring this back to the front of everybody's mind. We worked through highlighting what?
Big words.
Tone shifts, appeals. Josie said big words. What does she actually mean? Fiery diction. There you go. And so you have those annotations on your speech already, correct? All right, so I want you to take your eyes, look over what's been highlighted.
Oh, man.
Now take your eyes to the top of the prompt, and what do you find at the top of the prompt? The prompt what? The context is in the prompt what?
Task.
The prompt task. Prompt task. And AP stands for what? Answer the prompt. Thank you. Okay, so you are looking at the prompt task now, and you're looking for things like context, exigence, speaker, purpose, audience. I want all that in your mind. About 30 more seconds for that. What we're going to do for the next about 2 minutes or so, roughly 2 minutes, is this. We're going to discuss aloud with your active participation. When I ask a question, I want to hear the answer. What you're doing is retrieving what we've already discussed and learned about this passage, about this speech. We know that the prompt task paragraph will give us everything we need to start writing a pretty effective thesis in response to this rhetorical analysis passage, correct? All right. So when I ask these questions, raise your hand so that you can be heard without the masses shouting it out, because I know everybody knows these answers, all right? Here we go. Who is our speaker?
George W. Bush.
George W. Bush. What do we know about George W. Bush?
He's the president.
He was the president. That gives him what? Automatic ethos, which is, starts with a C. Credibility, okay. Why does he have automatic ethos as President of the United States on 9/11/2001? What does he hold? Okay, power, but what makes you say that?
Authority.
He has authority, but why does he have authority? What position does he hold? Congress is behind him. What position does he hold?
Well, he knows a lot of information about the situation.
He has a lot of information about the situation because he holds he is the commander-in-chief. He holds the office of president for the United States. There we go. We got there. We went a ways around it, but we got there, and that's important. Those thought processes you were having, those are important to acknowledge, okay? All right, what do we know about the context here, the C in space, context. What is context? The 9/11 terrorist attack. So what about it? Josie? Many Americans lost their lives. What is the speech addressing? How America can come back from that. So we're starting to move towards exigence and purpose, aren't we? Let's go back. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe we shouldn't have gone straight to context. Maybe we need to talk about purpose. For what reason is George W. Bush addressing the nation on this evening, 9/11/2001? Agatha?
He wants to reassure them and bring hope to the nation.
He wants to reassure, bring hope. That's the message, right? You got half of it. What's the other half, ladies and gentlemen? To start a war? To get support for war. Okay, so that is called the what in our purpose. We have a message, what Agatha said, to reassure, right? What's the other part of purpose? What's it called? Call to action. And Ashley, what is that? Call to action. Oh, it's the other half of the purpose. You're not wrong, but what is it in this speech? To get support from Okay, from the American people. And what other body does the president need support from? Congress, because who can declare war? Congress. And so what is a war effort going to accomplish? Starts with an R. It's one of those big words. Retaliation. There we go. Okay, so we're going the long way around, but I want you to remember that it takes a while to get here. Thesis writing doesn't happen like that. And there's a lot of pieces that go in. We have to talk about speaker, space cat, speaker. We have to talk about purpose. Purpose is twofold, right? So we have the message that the speaker wants to convey, and we also have the call to action that the speaker wants the audience to take, correct? Are you with me so far? Okay. So now let's go to audience. Who is the audience of this speech? The American people, for the most part, and predominantly, correct? Because where is President Bush when he delivers this speech? He's on American soil at the White House, sitting in the Oval Office at the Resolute desk, right? We've gone over this many times. So, but where had he been during the day, Josie? By the World Trade Center towers that were no more, right? He had been to New York City. He stood on the rubble and he spoke with the audience. Remember the video that we watched? Okay. So we know that our speaker is speaking predominantly to the American people, right? Okay, but there is another audience here. You got this one? There we go, the terrorists. Okay, now, I didn't mean to smile when we're saying the word terrorists, but why are the terrorists another piece of the audience that George W. Bush has in mind? Agatha?
He's telling them that the U.S. is looking for them and will retaliate against them.
The U.S. is looking for them, they will retaliate. Who else is the government or the military? Who else are we looking for at this time? Anyone who supports the terrorists. What's another word for that? Look in paragraph 4 or 5 of your speech. Harbor, there it is. Another one of those big words. Okay? All right. So we've talked about speaker, we've talked about purpose, we have audience. Let's go to context. What day is it? Good. Okay. And President Bush is at the White House when he delivers this, right? But what has his day been like?
It was normal.
It started out normal, just like it did for every other American citizen. He was where in the morning? In a Florida classroom, an elementary school classroom, waiting to read aloud to a group of young students, right? Okay. So then he went, we know, to New York, and then eventually back to the White House to deliver this speech, correct? Okay, so we have that context in our minds as we begin to think about what's coming next. Let's talk about exigence. What prompted him to deliver this speech that evening? All right?
Prevent like chaos and like
a great ad. We have not talked about the ad, but to prevent chaos.
McCuskey to the office, Haley McCuskey to the office.
To prevent chaos from ensuing, because people were what on that day? Scared, worried, terrified, horrified, grieving, not knowing how to proceed. What did people think? Well, let me back up. What did George W. Bush tell us we had to be certain of in his speech? I think we need to look at paragraph 3, top of the second column.
Not worry about their money.
Don't worry about your money, because what is strong?
The American economy.
The American economy is still strong, right? Now, why is that significant? Let's put that in context. Why is that significant? Blaine?
The World Trade Center was attacked.
The World Trade Centers towers were attacked. The World Trade Center towers were attacked, and in those towers were a lot of the financial offices that took care of American finances, right? Okay, and then this threat spread throughout the country, didn't it? Okay, so I think we're there. We talked about speaker, purpose, audience, context, exigence. You had the prompt task paragraph, yes? Okay, I want you to quietly find a piece of paper. And I want you to take 3 minutes tops to write your thesis, your own individual thesis. So this is independent work right now, in response to this address. I'll be around, so if you have any questions, let me know. I want to call your attention. Look, I almost forgot myself. Right behind Gabe, what's that poster? We're going to avoid the word use in our writing. Okay, and we have a lot of officers up there, thanks to Logan recording them for us. Okay? Do you guys have questions? Just on a piece of notebook paper. It can be scratch paper. It doesn't have to be anything formal. Can a thesis be more than one sentence?
Yes.
How many?
2.
2. Okay. But they have to be in close proximity to one another. Okay. Nice. Good. Remember space? That's where you're headed with the information you record in your thesis. Recorded in your thesis. Nice job. Got some context going on. Purpose, twofold, 2 parts to purpose. Nice. I love that I see you looking for those verbs. Nice job.